How do my books help younger children with OCD? Hi, I'm Julie, and I started writing books after my daughter developed really bad contamination OCD. We did ERP therapy, and thankfully she's come out the other end and is now leading a normal life. So I'm on a mission to help other parents manage OCD symptoms before they take control. So the first book I wrote was I published it during lockdown. It's called Hank the Hungry Monster. Hank represents OCD. He's actually the monster because once OCD got compared to us as a hungry monster. And then Trixie the treat monster, she actually represents ERP therapy, which is what we used to get our daughter's life back from OCD. So you've got one sort of battling the other, if you like. So in the first book, as I say, I introduce Hank as a hungry monster, and he moves in the main characters, who's called Annabelle's head. And if you can see there, it's got O, C and D. That's to represent the controls, which by coincidence is OCD. And I represent the compulsions and the obsession side of the illness through a game that Hank likes to play. And I also introduce a trigger, because very often OCD can be brought on by an incident or an event that's made the child uncomfortable. In this instance, it's Hattie who's actually noticed a blemish on Annabelle's face. And then what Annabelle resorts to do, or I should say Hank gets her to do, he decides to home in on her anxiety, because a lot of OCD is caused by anxiety. And he starts pressing his controls to have a game, and he gets her to wash her face, convincing her that she does it 3 times, because very often OCD has a set number of pattern of doing things as well. And then he gets her to believe then that will then stop this from happening again and her feeling uncomfortable. Later on in the book, I introduce the teacher, Mrs. Carmen, and she actually teaches Annabelle how to speak up to the voices. And there you can see Annabelle then is speaking up to Hank, and Hank doesn't like that, so then he moves on to his next home and his next victim. And that nicely takes me on to book number 2, Trixie the Treat Monster, because I introduced Trixie as a way of showing parents how to use ERP therapy and distraction and rewards to help tackle OCD. So there's Trixie, she's chilling out there, and we see that the new character is called Leo, and I've introduced a new theme of OCD in this book, and in this one he's actually counting, and he counts to 3. We also find again what the trigger was for his OCD. It's when he felt really uncomfortable when he missed a penalty shot. So Hank again has seized his opportunity of when he's becomes anxious, before he takes a penalty shot, he gets him to keep counting 3, and he convinces him he has to do it over and over again. Thankfully Trixie is introduced then, and she actually stands up to Hank in his game because she likes playing games as well. And one of the methods I found work with our daughter to help get her on board to do exposure therapy was to introduce rewards. I was sort of against it at the beginning, but I've got to say it does work. And the reward in this case, she puts visions of an ice cream and a pizza as a reward of what he could actually earn if he didn't count the next time he took a penalty shot. I also introduced the importance of confiding in others. In my first book, he was confiding in the teacher. In this one, he confides in his best friend. And the best friend helps him and supports him then not to do this counting. So you can see there, Hank up to his mischief again. And then also I introduced the fact that Emily, his best friend, has also felt embarrassed when she's done something else, but it hasn't resorted to OCD with her. So this makes Leo think, well, maybe I don't need to do these things then, because other people who I think are confident have also had bad experiences. So then we see him really pleased with himself then that he didn't resort to counting on the penalty shot, and he had his pizza. Trixie is delighted because she's won. ERP therapy is won against Hank, which is what happened for us. And then you see on the end picture then you can see the Hank, they're both happy, but Hank is not very happy. He's moved out again, and he's going to go on to the next victim, which will hopefully then be my 3rd book in the Mind Monsters. You can find out details about my books over on my website, which is themindmonsters.co.uk. If you live in the UK, I'll actually personally sign your books, and I'll send you out a bookmark as well with the books. Sadly, I can't post books outside of the UK, but they are still available to purchase on Amazon, the Book Depository, and most other leading book retailers. So again, my website, if you're interested, not on my website, if you live in the UK, you can pick up 2 for £18. I've got a special deal on as well. Alright, so that's it on my parenting tip for today, and that's how to help younger children with OCD by using my Mind Monsters books, which again are available on my mindmonsters.co.uk website.